The following interview is being conducted as part of the Price of Freedom Oral History Series, sponsored by the Madison County Military Heritage Commission to inform the public of the sacrifices made by veterans in our community on battlefields around the world. We wish to thank the Huntsville School System and the ETV Broadcast Center for their help in presenting this military heritage program. Hello everyone, I'm Tom Kendall. Welcome to our program. Today we'll be talking with U.S. Army veteran Roy Adams. Roy retired as a colonel after serving 31 years in the Army. He is the recipient of the Bronze Star Medal with Valor for his distinguished service during Operation Desert Storm in 1991. He was inducted into Madison County Military Hall of Heroes in 2023. Roy, it's a pleasure to have you with us, sir. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Tom. It's
Appreciate
good
you
to
coming
be here.
up. Good. First of all, tell us a little about yourself. I understand you're from the Tuscaloosa area originally, right?
I'm originally from Tuscaloosa, born and raised in Tuscaloosa.
You're a big Alabama fan, I see.
I am. I was there when the bear came home.
There you go. Okay, you go way back. Yeah. You have? Did you have a family in the military?
I did. My dad served in the Navy during World War II. Mm-hmm. All of his brothers served in World War II in the Navy, and one of the brothers was lost in the Pacific. He was on an airplane. Mm-hmm. He was an air crewman on a Navy plane. And then I had one of my dad's sister. Her husband was a career Navy, and he was at Pearl Harbor when it happened. He was in Battle of Leyte Gulf, Battle of Midway, and he was on the USS Franklin as they were getting ready to attack Japan, and a kamikaze plane hit the Franklin, and there were 3,000 American sailors killed on that plane.
Oh my gracious! Yeah.
And so, just knowing him, he never talked about it. I didn't know all this until he died. I read his obituary.
He saw plenty of action, didn't he?
But he did. I mean, if there was something went bad in the Pacific, he was there.
So you had the connection there, like in high school. Were you ROTC, that sort of thing?
Well, just family. I listened to them and all that. And like I said, my dad was in the Navy, and I remember his brother was, just before he passed away, we visited him in the Veterans Hospital. Mm-hmm. And my dad never left Tuscaloosa County till he enlisted in the Navy.
Is that right? Yeah.
And so I said, Uncle Lem, I said, how come all you guys joined the Navy?
Yeah.
And he said, well, we were walking down the street one day and we saw a sign that said, the Army makes its bed where it stops. The Navy takes its bed with them. I said, well, I guess it pays to advertise.
But you joined the Army anyway, right? Or you became part of the Army?
I was the Army guy. I was different. Of course, ROTC at Alabama was just Army and Air Force.
Right.
But I don't think I would ever join the Navy. I'd had no desire to do that.
Well, I was in the Marines, but I was afraid I would have gotten seasick, so they had to put me in sick bay all the time, so I'm glad. But anyway, so that's when you made your decision, when you're going to Alabama, that you would become, or join the Army or be a part of the Army.
Well, I had not thought about it until I got to Alabama, and I went in the ROTC program, right. And that's when it kind of clicked. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Now, did you get to choose what you would do in the Army? Or tell us about after you graduated. You went into the Army then, or you were in the reserves, or how?
No, I went straight into the Army. Okay. I graduated January the 27th, and I reported to Fort Benning on February the 1st. Mm-hmm. So I went straight in with a regular Army commission.
Yeah. Well, do you have a pretty good idea, Roy, what you wanted to do in the Army at that time?
Well, I wanted to be an infantryman.
Okay.
And so that's the branch I got. I requested to be going to the infantry, and then I was also wanted to go to jump school, airborne school, and ranger school, and so all those were 6 months was all together. Mm-hmm. And all of that was at Fort Benning.
I see. It's all pretty extensive training if you involved in all of that, right?
Yeah, and fortunately I got my choice of units, and I got assigned to the 82nd Airborne Division. So I got everything I wanted when I went in.
Roy, what was it like that first time you jumped out of a perfectly good aircraft? You know, what went through your mind when?
Well, the training you get at jump school is 3 weeks. There's a ground week, tower week, and then the jump week.
Right.
They prepare you so that whenever you come out, it's automatic. You don't think. You react. You do the things they've trained you. The tower at Fort Benning, the 250-foot tower, the Army brought it down from the New York World's Fair, and so they put it part of it. And so what happens is that they put you in a parachute in a contraption where it's got the chute's open, and they raise you up to 44 feet, and then you have a safety line that you release, because when it releases a chute, you don't want to be hanging onto that basket. You want to shoot it. So you do that. You do probably 3 or 4 of those before you jump out of the plane. So you got a good idea of floating down
Before you actually jump out.
before you actually, and then when you get out there, it's in the airplane, and the green light comes on. You're ready to go, and it's like I say, it's automatic.
Do you have any kind of little ritual before you jumped out of a plane, like you say a special prayer, or cross your fingers, or what?
Well, no, because because of the training you get and all the safety issues that's in jump school, you're pretty well ready to go. There's no second guessing what's going to happen.
Right.
You know exactly what's going to happen, so you just follow your procedures and your training, and you'll be all right.
Tell us about after all the training. Tell us about some of the places that you were stationed and what you did there.
Well, like I said, my first assignment was after Fort Benning was Fort Bragg with the 82nd Airborne Division.
Right. You get a choice between the 101st and 82nd, or how does that go?
Well, I requested the 82nd.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But yeah, that was you get to say where you want to go. And if the Army says, we got a need there, we'll send you there.
Yeah.
And I got the 82nd. The interesting thing is that while I was in 82nd, one of the things we did is deployed to Washington, D.C. for the May Day riots in 1970.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or 71.
Yeah.
And it's when they were trying to block, it was anti-war
Right.
protests. They were trying to block all the bridges and shut the government down, as they said. And so we deployed up there to try to help control the crowds.
So what was your duty there? I mean, you just standing guard basically, or just?
Well, my platoon was a reserve platoon. We were ready. We were standing by to react to any issues. But a lot of the soldiers were out working with the law enforcement to control, not arrest. We didn't have arrest authority, but we could try to crowd control, move people away,
Right.
stop people from coming here and that.
Right. Yeah.
So, and that was it was May of 71.
How long did that last? Like I don't recall,
We
a month or so, or
probably about 7 days.
Oh, so just
It was
about a week. Or
It's
so.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
The reason it's pretty quick because it turned cold.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And
1970, I believe.
71.
71. Okay.
May 71, and it turned cold, and all those anti-war protesters didn't like the cold.
Yeah. Now, did you were you stationed at other places, or have other duties before you went to Vietnam?
No, after I went to Vietnam. I mean, that was my next assignment.
Right.
But we didn't have any other. We were alerted to go to the Middle East during September of '70 when they had. It's called Black Septembers when I think it's Black September. It's when the Jordanians kicked the Palestinians out of Jordan.
Oh yeah, I remember something about that. Yeah. Okay.
And so they were getting ready to.
So you're on standby on that.
We were. The division commander said, I thought for sure we were going.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
Got the word to stand down. You were kind of relieved, I guess, a little bit.
Well, no, we were ready to go.
Okay. Gung ho.
We were ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us about when you first went to Vietnam. What did you think of that country and being in that part of the world?
Well, that's the first time I'd been into the Pacific. So
yeah.
And so it was. I can't say it was a shock to me, but
yeah.
it was a long plane flight over. I remember that, and we were on Flying Tigers was the airline we were on, and so it was.
You landed at Tan Son Nhut, down around Saigon.
We flew into Long Binh.
Okay.
And then that's where you went through reception. You got your assignment. And my assignment was up to the 101st, up in Phu Bai.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get up there, you go through in-country training. Mm-hmm. And while I was going through the in-country training, Typhoon Hester hit Vietnam, which was the biggest typhoon that hit Vietnam in decades.
Mm-hmm.
And it really was a bad storm.
Yeah.
And so our training kind of got truncated because everything was trying to repair everything. So we went ahead and went out to the unit. So I got assigned to the 2nd Brigade of the 101st there at Phu Bai.
Yeah. That was in 71, 72 in that time frame?
71, late 71, about October 71.
How long were you in Vietnam?
A year.
A year, yeah.
Yeah.
Roy, tell us about some of the action you were involved with in Vietnam.
Didn't go around the country much. I was up in Phu Bai, which is the north of South Vietnam, and I was there during the spring offensive of 71.
Okay.
And we had 3 NVA divisions attack across the DMZ, which probably, if you want to know the distance, it would be about from here, from Huntsville to just above the Tennessee line is the distance between the DMZ and us.
Yeah.
And so they came across the DMZ with 3 divisions. We didn't have any American units, combat units between us and them. It was all ARVN, Army of the Republic of Vietnam units, ARVN units. So the initial group up it was the 3rd ARVN Division, and they got pretty well overrun very quickly.
Yeah.
And then, but the next belt was the 1st ARVN Division, which was a fantastic unit, and they pretty much held them. Then they sent the Vietnamese Airborne Unit up to help retake Quang Tri, and the Vietnamese Marines came up also. And so that was about a 2-month battle of pushing them back out of I Corps. That was I Corps, the 1st Corps, and pushing them back out of I Corps. Yeah. And the Vietnamese Airborne, Vietnamese Marines, and the 1st ARVN Division really did a great job fighting. Yeah. We were flying, the U.S. was flying 500 bombing sorties a day up there in I Corps.
Yeah. Now, Roy, you received a letter from President Nixon for your service in Vietnam, right?
Well, it was not for my service. It was for responding to me from a letter I sent to him.
Okay.
Because during that 2 months of the NVA coming after us and everything, I wrote and said, told him how well the ARVN for fighting,
right?
How it makes you proud to watch them do that, and that any bombs he can put on those guys, we all for it. So, so he wrote me,
wrote you back.
Responded back and with a letter, and so there I'm in Vietnam, and I get a letter, and it's got the White House.
Wow! I bet you still got that letter.
I do.
Good. In a safe
Matter
place.
of fact, when I was working for Senator Denton, I contacted Nixon's chief of staff, who was up in New York. Nixon was in New York. I said, hey, look, I know this was probably signed by an auto pen.
Right.
And the guy said, oh, no, he signed a lot of them. I said, oh, don't tell me that. I know how this works. But what I'd do is I'd like to send this letter to you and have the president sign it and date it. And so I do have that letter with his signature and his date where he dated it.
Wow.
Dated his signature. So the original letter may not have been signed by him,
Yeah.
but it was later signed by him.
Roy, you had some good connections back then.
Well, it was the senator's office that did it.
Right. So tell us about now, was that after Vietnam, right after Vietnam, that you served with Senator Jeremiah Denton?
Well, it was after I had gone to, after come back from Vietnam, was stationed at Fort Hood, and I was assigned to a ranger company there for 2 years. Then I went to the Armor Officer Advanced course at Fort Knox, and then I was assigned to Mobile for recruiting. And while we were there, things just kind of, we felt like we wanted to kind of quit moving around. So
Right.
so I resigned my commission and went to work for Senator Denton in his office. But unfortunately, moving was still there. We moved to Washington, D.C. with him. So
I see, yeah.
so that's how I worked in his campaign for Senate, and then he asked me to go to Washington with him to serve on his staff, and I did.
Of course, Senator Denton was a prisoner of war, of course. I don't recall exactly how many years, but I think it was several years, wasn't it?
7 years and 7 months.
Wow. Yeah.
4 years in solitary confinement.
And he's from, Mobile area?
He's from Mobile.
Right. So I enjoy, how long did you work with Senator Denton?
We worked together for campaign and his staff. I worked 3 years for him.
Uh-huh. Enjoy that pretty much?
Well, I tell people that up on Capitol Hill, it's a lot of fun. It's frustrating. You get angry. You celebrate, and that all happens in 24 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. A lot of action up there.
It
sure
and
is.
so I didn't want to stay in politics. I didn't want to stay a staffer, so I went out and went to work at a private firm.
I see. But you eventually went back.
Then I really decided I wanted to come back in the Army, and I applied, and I was able to come back in the Army.
Good. Roy, in 1991, you received the Bronze Star Medal with Valor for your heroism during Operation Desert Storm. Tell us about that action during that period.
Well, we were in Germany, and our unit, the 3rd Brigade of the 3rd Infantry Division, was alerted to, and we were attached to the 1st Armored Division to go to Desert Storm with them. The division commander was General Griffith, Major General Griffith, and he had served with the brigade commander that I was working for, Jim Riley, Colonel Jim Riley. And he had a lot of confidence in him. So when we got assigned to the 1st Armored Division, they decided to make the 3rd Brigade of the 3rd Infantry Division, our unit, as their advanced guard unit. So we had one brigade up, and they had the 2 other brigades behind us. So we were in advance of it, and we were attacking north, right across the DMZ. And so our whole element was always up front. We followed the 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment. They went first, we came in, and then about 80 kilometers inside of Iraq, they turned and went to the east, and we kept attacking north because we were going to go up and try to intersect any other units that were trying to escape out of Kuwait. Mm-hmm. So as a military unit, brigade specifically, you got the Tactical Operations Center, which controls fires, controls units, controls all the logistics and everything.
Kind of a command center.
It is. It's a command center,
Right.
but the commander's not there.
Oh, I see.
The commander is in the tactical CP. So he and I he had a tank and I had a Bradley, and we were always up front with the lead element. And so it was, I can't say I did anything specific. It's just that Colonel Riley felt like that my performance deserved recognition for valor, and he put me in for the medal, and the division commander, General Griffith, approved it.
Yeah. How long did all this last? How long was this
Well,
operation?
that battle, our attack was 70 hours. I mean, we pretty much tore them up.
Yeah, yeah. Did you lose some men in that action?
We did lose a couple of guys, but they were usually running. The enemy was running. They never. Colonel Riley used to say, "Look, all battles in the desert are fought on road junctions." And when you get up there and you see all these roads in the desert, and they've been there for millenniums. I mean, those roads are the same roads that Jesus probably walked on. I mean, they hadn't changed.
Yeah.
And that's all the Arabs know is just follow roads.
Right.
Well, we had navigation devices. We had GPSs. And so we didn't have to follow roads.
Right.
We went out, and they never expected us to be able to come at them from somewhere other than down a road. And when we've captured one Iraqi CP command post, and the maps were everything was facing the Persian Gulf, and we were behind them, and they never had anything showing the enemy behind them. They always had the enemy in front of them, coming at them from the Persian Gulf.
Right.
So when we came at them like that, they just had no.
They didn't know what hit them.
They didn't know it, and since they couldn't do it, they didn't think we could do it.
Right.
And that's the thing that was so amazing. I mean, we were just, and then like I said, we had the navigation devices, and we just followed it and
Did your job.
came in there.
Followed training.
Yep.
Yeah. I want to ask you a few questions, Roy, that I ask all veterans I talk with. First, do you feel it's okay to be afraid or scared during combat? I mean, people are shooting at you and that sort of thing. How would you answer that?
Well, yeah, it's okay to be afraid. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But I can't say that I was ever in a point where I feared being in combat.
That's where the training kicks in, I guess.
And knowing who you were with, and knowing what they do, and knowing what to expect. I mean, we get the intel of what's out there. We know what we got to do. You know the units that are fighting with you. So I can't say I was ever afraid. Maybe I was concerned and aware of what was going on, but fear never got into it. I think it's okay to be fearful,
Right.
but it's not okay to let fear consume you.
Consume, take over.
Yeah.
How do you feel when people call you a hero when they read about or hear about what you did in combat?
Well, I don't think I am a hero. I mean, I just did my job, and I loved doing it. I love serving. I think Ron Wright's a hero.
Right.
I mean, what he did was, I mean, he put his life on the limb. I didn't have to do anything like that, but I'll call him a hero. Senator Denton, I call a hero.
Right.
What he went through, and some other guys that I served with in Vietnam. I'd say they were
Desert Storm, yeah.
and Desert Storm, but Vietnam specifically, because there was a couple of guys that I just thought, man, that is amazing what those
That's
guys.
the people you want to be in battle with.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
and one of them, especially a pilot, he was amazing.
Yeah. Do you often wonder, would you do it all over again?
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat.
In heartbeat, yeah.
Yeah,
don't even stop to think about
I
it.
don't regret any part of my military career.
Yeah. Roy, you've been in war, and through the years, I'm sure you've seen a few movies or TV shows that depicting action that like you were involved with. What you've seen, is it pretty much accurate, or is it all Hollywood, or
Well,
how would you answer that?
I think there's a lot of it. It's accurate. I just finished watching the series Masters of the Air.
Yeah.
That about the bombers in World War II. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that yet. No.
You need to get it.
Yeah. It's
I
good.
mean, I got a lot of respect for those guys that are flying those bombers. I mean, here it is. They send out 30 bombers, 15 come back.
Yeah.
They're flying daytime, no cover, because they're flying over German-controlled territory, and they're hit and flak's coming up at them, and
Like B-17s, that involved B-17.
it was the bombers,
Yeah.
and it just when you watch that and you say, I don't understand how guys would, because it was the pilots, gunners. I mean, you had a crew of about 7 in there.
Yeah. Day after day.
And then,
Every day.
and if they had 25 successful missions, they got to come home.
Yeah.
And so I would say, and then Saving Private Ryan, I think was probably accurate. I think We Were Soldiers Once and Young was pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And
Saving Private Ryan was a really good movie. It
Yeah.
really was. Yeah.
And so I think Hollywood does a pretty good job. You don't get the full emotional of being there and seeing it. I mean, but being able to look at it and see what happened and be able to depict it, I think they do a good job of doing it accurately.
Yeah. How did your experience in combat affect your outlook on life? I mean, your feelings on serving your country and so forth?
I don't know if I can say how it affected me. What I can say is that I was very, I guess the best thing is very satisfied that I was able to do it.
Yeah.
If somebody was there doing it, I wanted to be one of them. I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to feel to be a part of it, so that I don't think it affected me other than the fact that I want to be there, and I had a lot of satisfaction of being able to do what I did and be able to bring most of the guys back home.
Good. That's always one of the most important things.
Yeah.
During your time in the Army, you served in duty stations around the world, Roy. Do you have a favorite? You look back and love to go back there sometime. Or?
Germany was a great tour. 4 years in Germany. Really.
What part of Frankfurt or?
We were in Schaffenburg, which is just about 60 kilometers south of Frankfurt.
I see.
It's on the Main River. Great.
Beautiful country. Isn't
Oh, it was, yeah. Then my last assignment was in the Philippines.
Uh-huh.
And the Philippine people are just some of the most gracious you'll ever meet in your life. And I had a security unit that the Philippine Armed Forces gave me, 26-man security detail that was with me, and I had an armored up Suburban everywhere I went, I always had 2 guys with me.
Wow.
And so, because the guy,
you're like royalty over there.
I mean, it was Nick Rowe was assassinated in the Philippines by the New People's Army, the communist guys. So that's why they gave me that unit, and those guys were just tremendous, just really tremendous.
Did you ever serve in Korea? Most.
I didn't go to Korea.
Never went to Korea. Yeah.
Thank goodness. And the reason I say that is because when I was in high school playing football, we were in spring training, and it was a cold day, and Coach Tarleton, Tommy Tarleton, who was standing there with a windbreaker on his shorts, and it was cold. I said, "Coach, aren't you cold?" He said, "Adams, I promised myself if I ever got out of Korea, I'd never get cold again in my life."
And you're sticking to it, wasn't he?
Yeah. So I didn't ever want to go to Korea.
Yeah. Do you still try to stay in touch with a lot of the guys that you serve with in there?
Yeah, I do. I mean, time has pushed us away, and a lot of them, and of course, some of them have passed away. But it's just the distance. But there's some around here that I still know. I didn't serve specifically with them, but I was in the Army, and we knew each other, and we did different assignments. But I still try to stay in touch as many as I can.
Yeah. There's a connection, and it lasts. It lasts through the years.
Yeah.
What did you do when you retired from the Army after serving 31 years? What did you
Well, when I retired, I went to work for a startup internet company, and I did that for 2 years, and then left them and did some independent consulting on my own, and then I was hired by Raytheon.
Mm-hmm.
My brigade commander, who was I was working for in Desert Storm, was the vice president of Raytheon Missile Systems, and he brought me on and hired me to come do some work with it. And so I did business development on the Javelin missile system for 10 years.
Yeah. Roy, was it quite an adjustment coming out of the Army after 31 years going into civilian life?
Well, it was a little different for me because when I retired, I was in the Philippines.
Okay.
And we stayed in the Philippines for another year.
I see.
Then we came back to the States. Mm-hmm. I can't say it was that much of an adjustment. It was nice to be back. We realized, okay, we don't want to be expats. We want to stay here in the States.
Come back to Alabama.
Well, I was North Carolina when I came back.
I see, yeah.
But then we went to, when I got hired by Raytheon, we went to Tucson, stayed there 7 years, and then they moved me to Huntsville for 3 years.
Yeah. Tell us a little about your family. I believe you and your wife were married when you were in college, right?
Well, she was in college.
Oh, I see.
I just graduated. She was still at Auburn. I just graduated from Alabama, and we met on a blind date.
Is that a problem, Alabama and Auburn there?
Not with me, it wasn't. But we met, and we got engaged in 3 weeks, and
really
was married 6 months after because I had all the schools at Fort Benning. We got married when I finished Ranger School and went to 82nd.
Yeah. How did you meet?
Blind date.
Really?
Yeah, a friend of mine, one of my guys that was in Fort Benning with me, had a friend in Auburn and said, "Let's go over there and meet some of these." So we went over there and met some of the girls, and she said she'd never dated any of those Fort Benning guys.
There's an immediate connection there, I guess.
It changed.
Yeah,
So.
that's great. Yeah. And how long have you been married now? I mean,
All right.
now she's maybe watching this.
I know. In August we'll be 54.
That's great. Congratulations. Yeah. Roy, you were inducted into the Madison County Military Hall of Heroes in 2023. What did that mean to you personally?
Well, I really appreciated the recognition, and I appreciate the fact that Madison County has something like this, that they can recognize veterans. I'm just a representative of a lot of veterans, and I appreciate the fact that I was selected, and I really like wearing this medal.
Well, it's well deserved.
Well, thanks. And it just it's I'm not from Huntsville, but now Huntsville's home. Yeah. And I appreciate the fact that they said, "Okay, you're one of us now." Yeah. And so, and the fact that Will was also inducted is right. And so we're hoping that they stay here. Yeah. They don't move.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask you about it. I'm sure it's a real thrill to be inducted with your son-in-law, Will Johnson. That was quite an honor, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It's a great family honor for us.
Yeah. Now, I think I mentioned to Will, previously interviewed Will, and I asked him about, now, you were both colonels, you and Roy. I mean, but you married his daughter. I mean, you still say sir to him or dad or what?
No, I'm Roy to him.
But seemed like a great gentleman, and I'm sure that was quite an honor for you
well,
and your family.
Yeah, it was. He's had a great career, and they've done some great things, and so I'm very proud of them and Will and their kids.
Yeah. Now, how many children do you and your wife have?
We got two. We got Meredith, Will's
right
wife, and then our son, Roy the Third, is a retired lieutenant colonel.
Mm-hmm.
He retired, and he also was awarded a Valor Award in Iraq. He spent 15 months straight in Iraq. If you remember when they had the surge,
right?
Well, his unit was getting ready to come home, and they said, "No, you're going to stay 3 more months." So they had to stay, and so their 12-month rotation turned into 15 months. And he lives in Indiana now with his family, and when he got out of the Army, he was an executive director of a Christian school for 4 years, and then he decided that wasn't what he wanted to do. It was just kind of a good transition job, and he and his wife and their son got an RV, and they drove around the country for a year.
Really? Yeah.
Just going different places, trying to figure out where they wanted to retire. One of the places they went was Point Townsend, Washington, where he went to a woodworking school. And he's now a master craftsman woodworker.
Yeah.
And he started a nonprofit organization called Chairs of Honor, where you can nominate a veteran, and they'll make a chair for him, and with the contributions that they get, it's nonprofit, so they get, and they make chair, rocking chair, any straight chair, any kind of chair you want, and then he sends a chair to the veteran and do kind of like we're doing here, record him talking about his service, and then they put a tag on it, RFQ tag on chair, so that interview is always tied to that chair.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's doing that up in Westfield, Indiana. That's where he is.
Yeah. Roy, I always it made me think. I always like to ask veterans as well that have served time in the military for many years. It's quite a challenge for you and your family to raise children in the military, because you're always going to different bases. And talk about that challenge that you and your wife had, while you were out of the country and so forth. And maybe sometimes she was with you or your family with you, but it is a challenge for a lot of families.
Well, it is a challenge, but it's also very rewarding for the kids. I mean, my son, we were in Germany his senior year, and he got to go to The Hague to a Model UN meeting and being part of that. He got to travel to Berlin when the wall was still up, and be able to go and do that. So, but as far as being well-rounded, our kids got an education just by where they lived, and the different places they lived. And so, we moved 20 times.
Wow.
And so that's tough. That's not easy. But we wouldn't trade it. It was.
Well, looks like your kids turned out pretty good.
I think so.
Roy, I have one last question for you. What advice would you give to young people who may be considering going into the military or thinking about a military career such as you had?
Well, I would encourage it. I would encourage them to very seriously look at it. I think it teaches you to sacrifice. What does it mean to sacrifice? What does it mean to serve a purpose that's greater than you? So I would encourage it. I'm a little discouraged with some of the things that are happening now.
Right.
But I wouldn't. But I know that's cyclical, and it's going to go away. It's going to change. They're going to find out some of the things they're trying to do don't work, like the Army's really having trouble in recruiting, and I think part of it is that. But the Marines aren't, and it's because the Marines still say the same message.
Yeah.
You know, we want the few, the proud, to be a Marine. The Army's trying to come up with how do we, and my point is, talk to them about what it means to serve. Don't talk to them about you're going to get an education or all that. Talk to them about service. Education's great, but that's not why that's not why you come in. You come in to serve.
Yeah.
So focus your advertising on what it means to serve and get them to look. I mean, I feel very at peace with my life because of what I did.
Kind of goes back to how it kind of used to be, or we felt it was used to be. You know, it's a different time period, I guess.
Yeah.
Roy, thank you so much for participating in our oral history interview series and allowing us to preserve your military experience for the people of this community. And thank you, sir, for your service to our country. I appreciate that very much.
It's an honor to serve.
Yeah, thank you, sir. If you'd like more information regarding this interview or any interview in our Military Heritage Series, please contact the Madison County Military Heritage Commission website at mcmhc.org. Thank you very much for being with us.